My name is Cucuzella. I'm a family physician here in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. I'm also the director of Freedom's Run, which we had the second annual today. It's a 5-event run through 4 national parks, including a marathon, half marathon, 5K, 10K, and the most fun event is the free kids fun run, 1 mile. Yeah, so we created Freedom's Run 2 years ago with the mission of building trails and gardens in schools. We're the #2 obese state in the country, and we needed to have creative ways to raise money to match grants. A lot of grants out there now focusing on community health. You need to come in with a lot of your own funds, and there's limited ways that you can produce a lot of funds, and most of them include things that aren't too healthy. You can kind of, beg or sell junk food, or we decided to create an event. I think our unofficial tally is about 450. There may have been a few parents in there. We couldn't even keep up with the tick timer. Yeah, it was wild, really wild, and I don't think anyone got hurt. It was good. Gosh, in 5 years, I think my vision would be that what we're doing here locally would really become almost either state and national movement. If you look at what Michelle Obama's trying to do with letsmove.gov, it's getting families and kids engaged in healthy behavior, good nutrition, healthy outdoor activity. So that's what this is about. A lot of events are for specific diseases, and I think that's all good. I'm a doctor. But not many events are just to promote health, and that's what this is. We're just out promoting health and doing things that involve the community and getting them out, and being healthy. The minimalist and barefoot movement in running is no different than really any other kind of common sense and evolutionary movement in medicine. If you look at nutrition, for example, what are we telling people now? Eat the plant, mostly the root. Go back to about 1000 BC. Eat the plant, mostly the root, and then we morphed into products, pills, what have you. And now it's eat the plant. I've been a runner for 30 years. I ran barefoot on the beach, and in my short lifespan of running, we've evolved from running in basic Converse, running on the beach barefoot, to all these fancy shoes, and now going the other way. And I've discovered that in my own running and health. Now I'm a very minimalist runner after suffering injuries like almost all runners do, and I've been through about a 10-year learning process and working with all the leaders in this field. So really starting to understand that, but communicating that to others, I think, is what's really fun. Just being out there today at Freedom's Run, watching all the people wearing minimalist shoes, flat shoes, without elevated heels, and really focusing on form. People are chopping massive amounts of time off their runs, but more importantly, we have people who've lost 20, 30, 40 pounds and are enjoying running. They're not in pain. And I think they'll be running forever if they're not in pain. It's not about the speed. Just doing something like we did today in a partnership with Terraplana. I think almost every seminar and class I teach on running form is watch what the kids do and remember what you did when you were a kid. You just let it go. You just relaxed and you just ran naturally. And watching the kids run, I think a lot of adults today were just watching. We had a girl, I think she's 11, ran a 5:30 mile, and it's an accurate mile. And just watching her just float across the ground. Yeah, we had about 150 kids out there in the VIVOBAREFOOT shoes. And they were just loving it, and they were just so happy and running, just freely, on the streets. They needed something on their feet, but yeah, they were doing what they were designed to do. So we just opened in this little town of Shepherdstown, a town of 3,000, the first store that I know of in the country that really just sells minimalist and flat shoes. We don't have any shoe with elevated heel pitch. And we don't have any children's shoes which are stiff, structured, with elevated heel pitch. Because a foot is the most smart design that was ever created. 25% of the bones of our body are from the mid-lower leg down. So everything that we do with a child's foot and a child's shoe needs to just be a partner with a child's natural development in their foot strength. If you have something that constricts a child's foot while the bones are forming and developing, that's having structural changes. So it's even more critical in a child's shoe while they're growing to let their foot be in its natural position, letting all the bones, muscles, tendons, ligaments, nerves do what they're supposed to do naturally. And VIVOBAREFOOT shoes are a perfect example. They're a thin piece of rubber you know, on a kid's foot. Hugs their foot, lets their foot do the work, which we want it to do. Pretty much how I was raised. Just we're telling this to adults now, and they kind of give us the tilt. You know, are you sure you want to do that? No one's told me that. But really, spending as much time as possible barefoot. You know, and whatever you're doing. You know, whether you're in the house, in the yard. You know, spending as much time as possible in your bare feet is the most important thing for foot health. Now, if you have to go to school and you have to wear shoes, or you're on a sharp rocky trail or an athletic field where you have to wear shoes, wear something that's flat and complementary to that barefoot function. But best advice for anyone is to gradually, you know, get out of shoes as much as possible. You know, no kidding. It's what if we just told people just wear heavy gloves all day? You know, no matter what you're doing, just wear these heavy gloves. We use them when we have to pick up hot pans, but otherwise we want to sense. It makes everything upstream work. So we want to do the same thing with the feet. When they feel the ground, everything upstream works unconsciously in its natural way. So when children don't do that, they lose it. So if you never lose it, you're healthy for the long haul. And you don't have to retrain yourself like most of us adults now. A lot of us are retraining ourselves to natural and barefoot movement. And that's a long process. It's taken me about 10 years. Yeah. I wish I didn't have to do that.